Introduction. I'm standing at the 25-yard line with 7 wheel guns lined up on the mat. And what you're about to hear isn't another casual which looks cooler list. This project is a focused side-by-side examination of 7 revolvers that, through testing and time on the trigger, proved themselves startlingly precise. I'll show you why these aren't just nostalgic throwbacks. They are engineered tools that deliver repeatable groups, reliable lockup, and shootability that rivals many modern semi-autos. Over the course of this series, I will break each gun down into the same objective criteria: barrel construction and manufacturing method, cylinder lockup and timing, mechanical tolerances, sight radius and sight system, trigger characteristics and lock time, and the role of weight and ergonomics in recoil management. Alongside that technical lens, I'll give my subjective impressions. How the trigger feels under slow single-action aiming, how the balance affects follow-ups, and whether the factory sights and grips invite or hinder consistent hand placement. I'll also list current street prices and where each model sits in the marketplace, so you can decide what fits your budget and mission. This is Scoper 90 Degrees' deep dive into wheelgun accuracy. Next, I'll start with the Ruger GP100 and explain why it earns a place on this list. Ruger GP100. The Ruger GP100 is the pragmatic precision king in this lineup, a tool-built revolver that earns accuracy through engineering rather than flash. Objectively, the GP100 100's strengths start with a cold hammer-forged barrel and a robust triple-locking cylinder system that locks at the front, rear, and bottom, keeping cylinder-to-barrel alignment consistent shot after shot, combined with solid manufacturing tolerances and a 4.20-inch barrel length. The platform produces repeatable velocities and tight groups at 25 yards. The factory Hogue monogrip encourages consistent hand placement and helps manage recoil, while the adjustable rear sight and ramped front sight let you tune point of impact for different loads. From a mechanical standpoint, the transfer bar safety provides modern drop safety without degrading single-action feel, and the stainless construction resists wear, so the lockup stays true over thousands of rounds. Subjectively, the GP100 feels like a purpose-built instrument at the firing line. The trigger in single action is crisp enough to encourage controlled, deliberate shots, and the double-action pull is smooth and predictable for follow-ups. In practical shooting sessions, the GP100 eats a wide range of ammunition, from light, target-grade .38 loads to stout .357 Magnum rounds, without complaining, and its weight, around 40 ounces, soaks recoil in a way that tightens groups as the barrel warms. My personal take is that the GP100 is the best accuracy per dollar revolver here. It won't win style points for flash, but it will win you groups and confidence. Street price lands around $700 to $850, making it an accessible choice for shooters who want match-capable performance without paying premium custom levels. Colt King Cobra. Next up is the Colt King Cobra, a revolver that blends classic Colt ergonomics with modern engineering refinements to produce a surprisingly refined precision tool. Objectively, the King Cobra target variant I tested features a roughly 4.25-inch barrel that delivers a healthy sight radius and pairs well with an adjustable rear sight and a prominent fiber optic or ramped front, letting you fine-tune windage and elevation for different loads. Colt's updated metallurgy and tighter tolerances reduce cylinder-to-barrel play, which directly improves group consistency. The trigger characteristics are a high point. Single-action brakes are crisp and encouraging for slow, aimed shots, while the double action remains smooth enough to allow controlled follow-ups without wrecking your sight picture. In practice, the King Cobra rewards match-grade .38, special, and mild .357 loads with tight groups, yet its frame and balance keep full power .357 Magnum shooting manageable. Subjectively, the King Cobra carries a pleasing balance and points naturally. It feels like a revolver that wants to be aimed carefully rather than flung offhand. The target model's refinements, like polished internals and a tuned single-action brake, give it a more match-oriented personality compared with more utilitarian guns. My take is that the King Cobra occupies a premium but approachable niche. It's not an all-out custom, but it's clearly built for shooters who want classic Colt handling with modern accuracy. Expect street prices in the neighborhood of $1,100 to $1,200 depending on finish and dealer, which positions it as a step up from the practical Ruger GP100 for shooters who prioritize feel and refined trigger work. Smith & Wesson Model 686. The Smith & Wesson Model 686 is the workhorse precision revolver in this group, a platform that earned its reputation by balancing durability with match-capable accuracy. Objectively, the 686 SL frame construction was designed to handle repeated .357 Magnum use without introducing frame stretch or timing issues. The 4.13-inch barrel I tested provides a sweet spot of velocity and balance, while stainless steel construction resists corrosion and maintains tight tolerances over thousands of rounds. Factory sights, a bright ramped front, and an adjustable rear allow for fine-tuning, and the cylinder-to-barrel fit is engineered to minimize play, which directly improves group consistency. Trigger mechanics on the 686 are notable. The double-action pull is smooth and predictable enough for controlled follow-ups, while the single-action brake is crisp and conducive to deliberate precision shooting. Subjectively, the 686 feels confident in the hand. It doesn't flirt with elegance. It simply performs. The mass around 40 ounces soaks Magnum recoil effectively, helping you maintain sight picture shot after shot, and the stock grips provide consistent hand placement while remaining easy to swap for personal preference. In practical range testing, the 686 delivered tight groups with both match-grade .38 special and full-power .357 Magnum loads. And its proven track record in law enforcement and competition speaks to its balanced engineering. My personal read is that the Model 686 is the most versatile accuracy revolver here. Rugged enough for heavy use, refined enough for serious target work. Expect street prices to cluster around $850 to $950 depending on barrel length and finish. Korth Combat. The Korth Combat is a German, hand-fitted high-end revolver built for precision and durability. Objectively, Korth's Combat line features extensive hand finishing, cold-forged barrels, adjustable rear sights, and user-changeable cylinder options on some models. The factory tolerances and fitment are engineered to eliminate measurable cylinder play and produce very small group sizes at 25 yards. The Combat is available in multiple barrel lengths, for example, 3, 4, 5.25, and 6. And is offered in .357 Magnum .38 Special and other calibers depending on configuration, with weights and balance tuned to promote repeatable hand placement and recoil control. Street pricing info from Korth's official shop shows Combat models typically listed in the mid-thousands of euros, for example, roughly €3. 3,475 euros, depending on barrel length and options on the German site. Subjectively, the Korth Combat rewards slow, deliberate aiming and careful trigger work with match-grade groups. Shooting one feels like using a precision instrument rather than mass-production hardware. If your priority is out-of-the-box, heirloom-level revolver accuracy, and you accept a premium price, the Korth Combat is a benchmark choice. Colt Python. The modern Colt Python on the list is a study in marrying classic design with contemporary precision machining, and objectively it shows through improved metallurgy, tighter internal tolerances, and practical upgrades like a strengthened rear sight base and interchangeable front sights. The result is a revolver that delivers consistent lockup, predictable timing, and a trigger that remains exceptionally smooth in double action and glassy in single action. The short, 3.0-inch test variant I ran felt perfectly balanced for deliberate target work and quick defensive presentation alike, and the stainless construction improves corrosion resistance, while keeping the action rigid enough to hold point of impact across extended strings of fire. From a shootability standpoint, the Python's refined trigger geometry and polished internals reduce perceived lock time and disturbance on release, which translates directly to smaller groups when you let the sight picture and trigger do the work. Subjectively, handling a Python is part mechanical precision, part aesthetic pleasure. It points naturally. The trigger invites measured breaks, and there's a distinct confidence that comes with its build quality that makes you want to take careful, aimed shots rather than rush. My personal assessment is that the Python is the emotional center of this lineup. It looks, feels, and shoots like a class act, and will reward careful shooters with match-grade performance without a lot of aftermarket fiddling. Expect to pay a premium for that blend of heritage and modern engineering. Typical street prices for new modern Pythons sit around $1,500 to $1,800 depending on finish and configuration. Manurhin MR73. The Manurhin MR73 occupies a different tier entirely. Built with military-grade expectations and a reputation forged in the crucible of service use, the MR73 is engineered to survive extreme endurance and still deliver bench-level accuracy. Objectively, each MR73 receives intense hand-fitting, precision machining, and individual test firing from the factory, which results in extraordinarily tight mechanical tolerances, near-zero cylinder play, and a lockup that remains true after thousands of full-power 357 Magnum rounds. The 4.0-inch barrel on the test sample I ran offers an ideal sight radius for precision work while keeping the package maneuverable. And the trigger mechanics, both double action and single action, are tuned to a level where the break is clean and predictable without stacking. Ergonomically, the MR73 balances mass and geometry to promote consistent hand placement and recoil control. And because of its construction, the gun maintains point of impact and timing far longer than most production revolvers. Subjectively, shooting an MR73 feels like using a precision tool made for professionals. The trigger communicates information to your finger in a way that invites deliberate aiming and rewards that patience with very small groups. My personal view is that the MR73 is less about daily carry or casual plinking, and more about absolute confidence under sustained, demanding use. If your mission requires the utmost reliability and the tightest practical groups from a wheel gun, the MR73 answers that call. Expect pricing to reflect that pedigree. Street values for MR73s typically sit in the mid to high thousands, commonly around $3,000 to $4,000 depending on condition and configuration, which places it firmly in the premium mission-grade category. Ruger Super Redhawk. Closing the hardware portion of this project is the Ruger Super Redhawk, a brute force precision revolver that proves a handgun can be both massively powerful and surprisingly accurate when engineered with the right priorities. Objectively, the Super Redhawk's extended reinforced frame, triple locking cylinder system, and cold hammer forged barrel combine to produce rigid lockup and consistent barrel alignment shot after shot, critical ingredients for tight groups with heavy magnum loads. The 7.5-inch variant I tested stretches the sight radius and, paired with the gun's integrated scope mounting rib, turns the handgun into a legitimate handgun hunting tool capable of long-range precision that approaches pistol-carbine territory. The mass, over 50 ounces depending on configuration, does not make the gun cumbersome on the range. Instead, it soaks recoil and stabilizes the platform so that follow-ups are controllable, and the sight picture remains usable even with stout .44 Magnum loads. Subjectively, the Super Redhawk feels unapologetically purposeful, heavy, steady, and built to move big bullets accurately. My take is that for handgun hunters or shooters who want the ability to push a bullet hard without sacrificing point-and-shoot accuracy, the Super Redhawk is the clear pick. It's not refined in the cosmetic sense, but it is brutally effective. Expect street prices around $1,000 to $1,300 for most new Super Redhawk configurations, which places it in a mid-tier price band for high-power revolvers.